got Christian County YMCA Executive Director Bruce Blanchard with us here today. Bruce, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on in and letting us know about the Christian County YMCA. And man, we got to talk to Jay Bollinger last week with Taylorville Memorial Hospital. This weekend was a big one for you, or this last weekend was a big one for you. The annual Back to School Health and Resource Fair. From your point of view, how did that go for you this weekend?
It was phenomenal. I'll tell you what, Jay and, Memorial do an outstanding job of coordinating the groups and getting businesses there. With the Y, gosh, I think we had close to 28 businesses and or organizations that were there, had free haircuts, free physicals. It was just an amazing event. And then Susie Trauber with Operation Loaded Book Bag, and all the volunteers that she had. And then she had a group of volunteers who were grilling hamburgers and hot dogs, on the west side of the building, just outside the new activity center. And it was an amazing event. And our new activity center is just perfect for it. And I think Jay had the idea to block off the back roadway. So we blocked it off. So when people would come into the Y, they would just take our easement. Usually he put cones in there. So we had to enter and an exit in the same roadway. And then he had a inflatable and, picnic tables donated and dropped off from the Taylorville Park District. And it was just a huge collaborative effort. And just really glad to say that we were involved, because it helped so many people who, they can't afford school supplies and they need the assistance. And that's what we're about. We're about helping people, and the Y's about, trying to help all children, but adults and families and or seniors or active older adults as well. So, I think, Memorial and the Y have like missions. And it's great that we're working together to host an event like that. I think last year we had a little over 110 to 120 kids and 125 maybe. And this year, I think it was closer to 200. I don't know if it got that high, but there was just a lot of people there.
To me, it's the second time you've really brought it about even. So you think about the jump that was made this year. You mentioned the free haircuts, even like, I think it was Capital Area Career Center that came down and did so. Dinner Season with Love, Operation Loaded Book Bag. It's a perfect blend and a perfect place to hold it at the Christian County YMCA. You mentioned, obviously, people needing those school supplies, people not being able to afford some of those school supplies. And the thing that I thought was coolest was that the kids are actually able to pick out what school supplies they wanted. Go down the row, get the crayons, get the markers that they wanted. Was that pretty cool just to see? Be a part of it. They
had Jay and I brought over 12 tables, 8-foot tables, rectangular tables from the hospital, and all of them had school supplies on them. And a couple tables were kind of like sign in and sign out, kind of like, here, we'll get your name, we'll get you everything you need from a list. And then you just start going down, and around. And it was so organized. And I think that's the thing, working with those organizations. It's kind of a feel good day. Everyone who's there, there's so many organizations there, and, SIU, offering the physicals and Blue Cross Blue Shield bringing all of the fruit and vegetables to hand out, the produce to hand out. And it was just a really good day. And for the YMCA to be involved and that's what we're all about. So, and to host it at the Y, that's even a better event and better, it's just good for everybody. And we're really, really glad and happy to be a part of it.
You mentioned something that when we talked to Jay Bollinger last week about it, it's the like missions. It's maybe we're a different organization, but we have the same goal in mind. And so to bring in Susie Trauber, Jay Bollinger, Bruce Blanchard, bring in your staff, everybody combined with it for just the second year, and to get 28 plus businesses and organizations out there, including the Christian County Health Department.
Right.
I think it's super, super impressive. Now that you've kind of got that done and now that's been taken care of, is there anything that you can think for even next year? Something that you go, I really like this year, but is there something maybe even next year that it's like, can we really even bolster it more? Is there something, if I ask you to put the rose-colored glasses on, you could tell?
Well, there was, I was communicating with one of the vendors, and they said, they were just impressed at the event and what we were doing. And they commented, they said, every kid, when they go back to school, they need shoes. And so we talked about it, got Jay over there, and we just kind of talked about maybe next year, that'd be something that try to do to try to, I don't know if you could give them free shoes but maybe it could be at a large discounted rate. I don't know, but that was something. And the light bulb kind of went on in my head. Like, gosh, I remember, every year, right? You get new shoes, every kid almost. Yes. And this way, if there's something we could do there, I don't know if we can, but if there's an organization out there that we could work with or a business, to help do something for kids, I think, it'd just be even better.
I was worried I was going to put you on the spot because, look, I got to let you enjoy what you just had, right? But also, when I think about something like that wouldn't even cross my mind until you keep having these different iterations of this and you keep seeing, okay, this is an additional thing that we can try.
Yeah.
And so to hear that you've already got the cogs are turning, the wheels are spinning, it's good to hear. For you, anything else when it comes to this back to school health and resource fair that you'd like to share?
Really, I just want to thank our staff. So, there was a lot of setup required. The gym, Tanner and the staff, Tanner and Josh and Mike and Jill, and Gina and Legna and all the other staff, they would get out there, raise all the standards, raised our divider curtain. We all helped move tables in and get them set up and situated, and to where every group is able to come in and get set up. Some groups had their own table, some groups didn't. So I think there was about 17 or 18 or 20 tables of the Ys that we utilized, along with the hospitals and all of our chairs. And so, I just want to thank them. They really, they all went out of their way. And Lindsay, and I'm trying to think of anyone else that I missed. I mean, the gals at the front desk, it was a great event, not only because it's at the Y and we're involved, but it made you feel really good about the organization you work for and the people that you work with. So just really want a big shout out to them and congratulate them and tell them great job.
A nice reminder too of your mission and what you're doing. I'm sure it's like anything, it's easy to just go through your day to day and you kind of forget why or how or what's even happening really. And you just do it. But then you have a moment to kind of step back, take a second and enjoy what you're really putting on. 28 businesses and organizations, free food, produce giveaway, haircuts, free school supplies, backpacks. I mean, the likes. At that back to school health fair. And I just think I would love to see next year. I'd love to see year 3 be even more successful. And I'd love to get those final numbers too. Once you've got them there as well. There's a lot more going on with you. And I don't want to take too much more of our time with the back to school health and resource fair, but definitely wanted to shine a bright light on that as well. Fall soccer.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
It's disappointing.
Yeah,
it is disappointing.
Summer is almost over.
This weekend was just so beautiful. It was hard to even. It just don't go away yet. But fall soccer is around the corner. What can you tell us on that end?
Tanner's coordinating sponsors. I think there's been about 60 people who've registered so far. Maybe a little more. About a week ago, I think we were at 45. And then he's got a fall soccer clinic planned again with Coach Carback and Taylorville High School, and we usually on their football soccer field we host it there. Okay. And it's a great couple hour kind of a lead in to soccer because, there's no charge and kids get to come out and they get to participate. And there's other coaches that are involved along with Coach Carback. And then there's volunteers, and he has some of his kids out there that are helping. And I think for a young child, I think that's pretty big to see, a high school kid out there, and they're working with them a lot on drills and skills. And then I think usually our fall program isn't as big as our spring, but I want to say we had close to 200, if not more, in last year's fall program. So our spring program was really big. Tanner had close to about 220 kids in the program. So, it's amazing to see the amount of people that the Y serves in programs, especially youth sports programs. And I think the changes that we've made over the last 5 years, I think have really helped in how we deliver, our programs and services. And Tanner Jones, our program director, does a great job. Joe Ruat, our program coordinator, Mike Eisenbarth, our facility operations director, and he helps with programming. And then, Gina Anderson and Legna Martin and all the staff. I mean, there's so many good people there. Gals at the front desk and just helping offer more and more programs to kids in the community and Christian County.
And it's so important to see, obviously, a special event, we'll call it like this, but the regular programming is just as important too. Of course, if you give somebody a reason to come out for the weekend, well, then what about that month? And so that's how you do it. It's this regular programming here. Fall soccer wise, is there a registration deadline that we should be aware of?
It's coming up. It's towards the end of the month. Because I think what Tanner wants to do is try to get everything done. I want to say it's like the 23rd or 24th of August, because then he wants to try to have a couple weeks to try to plan and get things ready. So that first weekend after the holiday, we'll be firing up and be on all cylinders.
Understandably so. I think that guy's got a lot that he's kind of planning for. So I can understand wanting maybe just a second to try and actually get a hold of everything going on there. Bruce Blanchard, Executive Director of the Christian County YMCA, joining us in studio. We better take ourselves a break, but we'll be right back around to talk more about their 40th Sustaining Drive, Teen Center, and more when we return. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
WTIM.com.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn steady, beans higher, wheat trading steady. September corn up 1 quarter, 3.89 3/4. December corn down a penny, 4.09 3/4. March corn 4.27 1/4, down a penny. September beans up 5 1/4, 9.74 3/4. November beans up 5 3/4, 9.95. January beans 10.13 up 5 1/4. September wheat up 1 1/4. 5.18. December wheat up 1 3/4, 5.38 3/4. September bean meal up 2.80, 2.73.70. September bean oil down 12 cents, 54.36. Livestock trade August feeders 337.15 up 2.57. August live cattle up $1.77, 231.90. August lean hogs up 30 cents, 107.65. Energy market September crude oil 65.92, down $1.41. Jim,
set your sights on a strong school year. SIU Center for Family Medicine in Taylorville is here to help your child start smart with a back to school or sports physical. Healthy kids learn better and play harder. Appointments are quick and convenient, so you can check it off your list with confidence. Call 217-545-8000 to schedule. That's 217-545-8000, or click their icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. SIU Center for Family Medicine in Taylorville, moving health forward for you.
When it comes to connecting with America's farmers and ranchers, nothing beats the authentic voice of Ag Radio. Farm broadcasters have been the voice of rural America since 1944, building trusted relationships with agricultural producers across generations. Today, the network of over 140 Ag radio stations reaches farmers and ranchers during their most productive hours when they're actively working their operations and making business decisions. What makes Ag Radio uniquely effective? Farmers listen to farm broadcasters for information that directly impacts their livelihood. When your message is delivered alongside alongside crucial weather updates, market reports, and agricultural news, it receives the same attention and credibility. Farm Radio Connects offers agricultural advertisers targeted access to this engaged audience through professionals who understand both broadcasting and agriculture. According to the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, 78% of farmers consider information from farm broadcasters highly trustworthy. When you need to reach rural America effectively, choose the voices they already trust. Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and discover how Ag Radio can elevate your agricultural marketing strategy.
Carl Krumsick here from Krumsick Monument Company in Taylorville, Illinois. Find out the many services we provide by clicking our icon on the obituaries page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Blaine Cornwell with Prairie State Insurance. To learn more about our products and services, click our icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
Good morning, and we're back with the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station. We're brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment, Executive Director of the Christian County YMCA, Bruce Blanchard. We've been talking the Back to School Health and Resource Fair, Fall Soccer, and we want to get into the 40th Sustaining Drive. This is new news to me. I don't know if you and I have got to talk about this. What exactly is this Sustaining Drive?
So every year we have a Sustaining Drive, and it is designed to help those who financially can't afford a Y membership, a program participant, or things along those lines. So every year we set a goal. Our goal this year is $45,000. Our event, it's usually a 4-week time period that we try to raise funds. It'll be August 18th through September 12th. Usually we do it in the spring, but we kind of pushed it back this year with the capital campaign and everything else going on. So I'm coordinating. PS Printing is a great friend of the Y, and we got him. He printed most everything that we needed, and now it's our job to put everything together and get volunteers and get people out there, raising funds for the Y. So it's a great function because it kind of goes hand in hand with what we just did this past weekend. And by offering people a scholarship opportunity, if they lost a job, if they had a divorce, if they had a death in the family, whatever the case is, if they got ill, it gives them that opportunity to continue to use the Y.
And continuing to give back to said community, $45,000 over 4 weeks, helping those scholarships, helping those members continue on in their membership. That's a look at the 40th Sustaining Drive. You touched on there for just a moment that capital campaign fund. We were so close the last time you were here. And
we were. So for all intents and purposes, we've achieved our goal. So a big shout out and thank you to John Robinson, Adam Vokes, Jeff Robinson, Mary DeValley, Maggie Vokes, Ashley Vokes, and all the volunteers who helped. Those folks right there, they were basically involved in our whole planning from beginning to end. And they really, really, really helped. So couldn't have got to where we were today to say that we raised $1,465,000 without them and all the volunteers who helped. So it's just an amazing feeling.
And to see what's come of it, and also to learn from you that the first million, all right, it might go, but that's the last 100,000 that all of a sudden that really stalls out. I'm glad to know that has come to a close for all that were involved in there. And congratulations on that. That's a big deal. We have got maybe 20, 30 seconds. What else can we highlight before we go?
We do have one more Dine to Donate. It's going to be Thursday, August 21st with McDonald's from 5 to 8 p.m. So encourage everyone out there to go to McDonald's on Thursday, August 21 between 5 and 8 and help the YMCA. And, we got some fall programs coming up. We've got some teen center grade school parties, and we're going to try to host some parents' nights out and do some other things. So we're really excited.
Not enough time here today to talk about all those things. Bruce Blanchard, Executive Director with the Christian County YMCA. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelbyville. 107.9 FM Pena Nokomis.
From voting on new congressional maps, it could give Republicans several seats in the 2026 midterm.
The move could expose Democrats to fines and other penalties.